Okay, here's part two of the video. I'm cleaning up my cons. Went through about 4 hours of it. I got half of it cleaned up almost. First 4 hour run. It's over there on your left. Let me show you how I've been cleaning these up. What I do first when I get to the river is after I clean up the mats, I dump them into a tub, clean them out into a tub, and then I'll take this strainer, put it in there, and I'll dump my tub of the cons from the clean out right into here. Rinse that out good, get all the rocks, the heavies. That's all. The farther I take it down is just this basic kitchen screener, and then it takes it down. So this is all I bring home. There's black sands, and then I'll pan this down again. And that's a 4 hour run there. This is panned down. After 4 hours, we'll go through that here in a sec. But here's how I pan it. You want to if you do this method that I do, also always put your rinse aid in there, in the water. Keep that gold will float bad if you don't. That helps out a lot. And I like the blue pans myself. I can see it a lot better, see the gold. These blue pans, this is the Minelab Pro Gold. And also this method that I use, I'll show you. You're going to want a nice big bottom pan like this. This is a 10-inch pan here. You see the difference? The way I do this, it would be almost impossible unless you use just very little black sand to pan in one of these. I use 2 tablespoons of cons when I'm doing this. Get my pan full. Hopefully you can see all this. Trying to stay out of the way of the camera. This is a couple scoops from that next 4 hour run, so we'll see. I just go 1 tablespoon and 2, a little bit heaping. Get 2 tablespoons in there. And what you want to do, I don't know how your pans are. See, mine has the smooth side right here. You want to pan into the smooth area because you'll see why here in a second. I end up dumping some of this. So I get it all centered. Get it all shook up good. Get your gold down in that corner pocket. Or down in that V. And then the trick is you want to get not too much water, just a little bit, just enough to wash over that sand. Makes it a lot easier. If you get too much, it's harder to rinse that sand. You want just enough to wash over it. Got it centered right here on the smooth part. Shake it down a little bit. When you shake it down, always have some water up there. See, it brings up that sand, the lighter sand. Then you just turn to wash it. And you always want to keep like a nice window clean right here. So what I'll do is I'll shake this stuff down. That way you can see if you're losing any gold. See, if you go slow enough, that won't. If you go too fast, you're going to bring a bunch of sand down like that, and it gets harder to see. So you want to just after a while, you get the hang of it. Just keep washing it. Take that down, get you a nice window so you can see. You can already see a piece popping up on the right there. Shake it down. It's getting a little heavy. That piece is still up there. Watch when you get gold down low, kind of keep an eye on it. Shake that down. See, I got some gold there, so I'm just going to take it now. Do this real easy. None of that stuff on top's going to come out. Just get rid of that. And get you some more water. Get it all back down in that V. Dump out most of it. Feather it out a little bit. And then just slowly rinse over it. Not too fast. Clean up that center so you can see what you're doing. I'm going a little slower so you can see kind of. start seeing gold popping up now on the right. That center clear so you can see. Now I got like 3 or 4 pieces that are getting low. I don't know if you can see them, but they're right down on the edge. So I'll just take this, what I got, make sure. Because if you mess up and get a bunch of gold in there, and then you got to start over, and might as well get rid of this while you got it. It's a lot easier. Plus, you got more room in your pan. Take it all back to the V. Dump out that excess. There's about that much. Feather it out a little bit. Start rinsing. Kind of tipping. I just call it the tipping method. But you see why you need that bigger bottom pan. Because you can use the smaller ones unless you're good. And one day I'll learn how to pan my cons up through these smaller ripples. It's a lot faster, but I'm just still learning kind of. So this is a lot safer to me. I can see everything that's going on. I trust it more. So I've been doing it this way. It takes about 8 minutes to do one of these couple scoops. 5 to 8 minutes. And then see you're starting to get gold down there again. You can push that up, but I usually just take my sand now. Get rid of that stuff, you don't need it. Give you more room. Wash that out. A few more times. Get rid of that excess. Hopefully you're getting all this. I don't know if I got that camera set. You can't look at it and see what I'm doing. It's on a tripod, so. Yeah, just always watch. You got some gold popping up to the right and the left there. Shake it a little bit, get your lights up top, all that light sand. Remember, when you shake it like that, always have water up top. It's starting to get heavy sand there, kind of bring that down, clean up your window. It's a nice window there, you can see what you're doing. Start bringing some more sand down. If you go too fast, that gold will come right down. You can see that some of those bigger pieces, especially if you got bigger gold. Stuff I'm into, in Denver, this is all Denver gold. It's real fine, so. And then as you kind of shake that to get that down there, you can watch the tops. If you did miss any, you'll kind of see that gold. It'll stick to your pan and on top. It all looks good. Or you could even do something like this and kind of check it that way. If you wanted to check it ever. Just make sure you're not losing any. You could always pan that stuff too. But after you get confident enough, you do it enough, it's not that bad. So now I'm just going to take it down enough to run it on my Miller table at this point. So I'm just trying to get rid of the rest of those big pieces of magnetite in there. And if you don't have a Miller table, I'll show you some other tools you can use to get it a little farther. I don't have to take it down. I like using that Miller table. It gets it cleaner, you know, in less time, basically. It's a lot. It gets hard when you get it down to the very end here. The gold starts wanting to float on you more, even though you're using jet dry. See, one thing I'm always constantly doing too is trying to keep this upper part moist at least. Because that's when your gold will really start floating, is if you let it dry out too long. The water hits it and bam, it starts floating, and then it all ends up down here. And you got to pull that out and start over. You won't get up. See, there was one floating there, it came down. Push that up. and I got Jet Dry in there. It'll still float. Especially when, like I said, when you get down to this point where you don't have as much black sand, that's where you got to be more careful. Still got a little more to go. There's still some chunks in there. Yeah, I almost got a little too much water now. Gotta be careful, it'll push that gold right out. Now I'm just kind of shaking it. You can see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bunch of magnetite here. Trying to shake that out of there. It drops out without getting the gold. Just with practice, you get it down. You can, again, keep it nice and moist up there. Always keep all of it wet. And you can look down here. If you want to stop and look, keep some water up there. Do it, but always keep your water up on top. Otherwise, when as soon as you hit it, it's going to float and bring it all down in. See, that's almost good enough for my miller table right there. More big piece of magnetite. The gold staying up there. You go slow enough, that gold will sit right on that in your pan seasoned enough. Got a floater there. Gonna watch those. Get rid of that, and that's about all the farther I take it for the miller table. Now, if you wanted to go farther, they got these. You're going to want to get one of these pivots or whatever they call them, because it'll make it a lot easier when you get down. This little fine stuff here, if you get a line of it. Watch me show you. See this. Again, if you're doing it this far down, definitely use a lot of that rinse aid. I just use generic rinse aid. It's a lot cheaper. It works the same. Just store brand. But see, now that you could dump that, but as you get down finer, this will come in handy for sucking up the last little bit. And you take it, suck it up, squirt it out. But to me, that's a lot of extra work, so I went ahead and got that miller table. But there's 2 tablespoons. Let's see what we got there. That's kind of how I pan it out. And then I'll take this now. In the next video I'll show we'll run all this on the miller table. There's 2 scoops. A couple nicer flakes there. 2 tablespoons. Not too bad. There's quite a few scoops still left. So now and then I'll dump this usually into another coffee can that I got, and then we'll run it on the miller table. Here, I'll show you what we got so far. I got half of it done. Here's half of it. The first 4 hours run right here. A little preview before we run it. And then the next, I said, the next video we'll run all this on the miller table. Not looking too bad though. I might keep running this spot for a while. Oh yeah, that's the good part when you get to here. You make gold. That's pretty. Not too bad for 4 hours, really. It's still a lot thicker up there. It's still dropping down. You can see it, hopefully, all this. It's shiny. Nice flakes in there. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. 4 hours. See what the weight tells it all, though. There's some nicer chunks in there for Denver. All the fines. until your mats are working good. You got all them fines in there. Yeah, that's pretty. Colorado gold right there. Okay, and then next we'll run it on the miller table. See what we got. Looking good so far. Alright, till then, heavy pans everyone. Take care.